Details on a fatal shooting that tore a Missouri town apart. Welcome to a brand new hour of Happening Now. I'm Heather Childers in for Jenna Lee.
And I'm Ed Henry in for John Scott. Good to be with you again.
Yeah.
Police naming the officer who fatally shot 18-year-old Michael Brown, sparking riots in the St. Louis suburb of Ferguson. Police say that officer was dispatched after this strong-arm robbery at a convenience store Saturday. The officer then getting into a struggle with a teen who fit the description of the suspect, and that fight spilled into the street. Mike Tobin has been live for us the last couple of days in Ferguson, Missouri, with all the latest developments. Mike, police just released some new surveillance video. What's it telling us about this case?
Well, what it really does is changes the tone of the investigation, or changes the narrative away from Michael Brown, the innocent teenager who was minding his own business when he was gunned down by police. You see him named as a suspect in this strong-arm robbery, captured on surveillance video. The narrative that goes along with this robbery, according to the incident reports, that Michael Brown, a considerably large man, 6'4", about 300 pounds, or 292 pounds to be exact, taking a stack of cheap cigars, Swisher Sweets, to heading for the door. The clerk, who we're now told is the owner, told him he's got to pay for those. And then you see in the video that he roughs up the clerk a little bit. By roughs up, I mean he shoves him out of the way and heads out the door. There was an accomplice, according to the incident report, someone named Johnson. Following that, just after noon, a call went out to be on the lookout for this individual. It was answered by Officer Darren Wilson, who was out on a sick call following an ambulance. He left the sick call to look for this individual. He stopped the individual, who we now know to be Michael Brown. That is when the scuffle occurred. That's what we've heard about in earlier narratives. A scuffle that led into the back of the police cruiser. According to police, Brown went for the officer's gun. Following that were the shots, and that spilled out onto the street, the whole shooting incident stretching over 35 yards. And again, changing the narrative, and you have black activists now calling this a smear campaign against Michael Brown.
Also saw a change in command, basically, in terms of who within the police, who's in charge here. And that news conference last hour seemed to see a new official emerging who is trying to take command and seem to have a different tone, at least from where I'm sitting. What are you seeing on the ground?
Well, he clearly took command last night, and that is Captain Ron Johnson, who's receiving a lot of active accolades for changing the dynamic out here. He walked into the crowd. He hugged people. He's from here. He made that known. He acted very much like a politician and not a police commander so much. He changed the issue away from cops versus the crowd, from black versus white. Listen to Captain Johnson.
I agree that this is not a black and white issue, because we all have sons and daughters. And we do need to communicate better, because you saw what communication did yesterday. So we do need to communicate better, and we're going to do that.
And so for the first time since August 9th, all of the tension here in Ferguson, and they made it through the night without any violence, without any arrests. Ed?
Mike Tobin on the ground for us. Thank you.